But so we're going up.
They know how
take your time.
hot it gets here in the summer.
I think I'd stay over there early.
Good afternoon. I'd like to call the meeting of the Madera County Arts Authority to order and welcome our visitors who are here in the audience, as well as we have Jim Core from the Arts Council and Nick Salinas from Supervisor Poitras' office online. I think both of them will be ready to present today as needed. I'd like to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you. As we go into item number 2, the reorganization of the board, our annual meeting, I'd like to introduce you to Joetta Fleek. Joetta has been the alternate from the Madera Unified School District Board. So Ray Seibert is stepping down now as he's been a board member for 3 years. He is stepping down, and his alternate, Joetta Fleek, was chosen to replace him on the board at the last meeting. So welcome to you.
Yay!
Let me say that Mrs. Fleek is familiar with our work. She's been coming to meetings, but she's also been on our downtown ad hoc committee and has taken walks with us in our alley property, and she has worked with people in the school district to encourage some of the things you're going to hear about this afternoon in terms of student artwork. I think you're excited to be part of our board, and we are happy to have you.
Welcome.
So let's start with item number 2A, which is the nomination and selection of chairs of the board of directors.
Madam Chair, I'd like to nominate Julie O'Kane as chair of the Arts Authority, Madera County Arts Authority.
Thanks.
I'm sure we have a second out there someplace.
Oh, second.
All right, great.
So we have a motion and a second.
I move that nominations be closed.
I was going to ask for other nominations. Okay, we have a nomination and a second for board chair. Seeing no other nominations. Close the nominations. Do I have to have a motion, or did I just?
We just did.
Question. Okay. I'll call for the question. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you for your support.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. Your minute is coming.
You're the obvious choice, the great leader.
So item number 2 is the selection of a vice chair for the board of directors. We had a vice chair when we started, and then we had a change in the city council. It did not replace that vice chair, but that's an important position for a time that I would be absent. So we have a chair to run the meetings of the board in my absence. Okay, so I'd like to open a nomination for a vice chair.
Madam Chair, I know this is probably out of protocol, but I would be happy to serve in that role.
Oh, okay.
I mean, nominating myself.
Okay, there's a motion and a second to have Mr. Poitras be the vice chair. Are there any other choices? Nominations are closed. All in favor of Mr. Poitras as vice chair, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, that motion carries. Now we can select our secretary. we had quite a discussion about the secretary when we first started the Arts Authority. And then 2 years ago, we determined the best thing to do would be to have our staff person from here be that secretary, since the meeting is recorded and she's able to put the minutes together and get it back to us, take care of our record keeping. So if that's the pleasure of the board, we could nominate Karen to, it is you, isn't it, Karen? Yes, but it's not Sarah, it's you. Yeah, okay. So we could nominate Karen Scrivener to continue.
Yes, I nominate Karen Scrivener to continue as secretary of the Madera County Arts Authority.
Is there a second for that?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Now we've had our former banker and current member of the board as our treasurer of the organization. And so is there a motion for selection of a treasurer?
Madam Chair, since we have a new member and we have a lot of shy people here, I'd be happy to continue in that role as treasurer.
Okay, let's,
As long as it's legal. I don't know if I can do two things, but,
I think it's okay.
okay.
Since the vice chair is not a position other than to take over the.
Right, okay.
Okay, so is there a motion then to appoint Robert Poitras as our continuing chair? Is there a second to that?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay.
Thank you.
And we have great cooperation here in putting our reports together from Nick Salinas and the supervisor's office. So thank you very much to the county for that. The next item is 2E, and we are annually expected to determine how long our officers are in office. And we have to determine that annually. Apparently, when we began, we determined that it would be for a year, although we didn't reelect officers last year. So here we are. And so I'd like to know what the pleasure of the board is about continuing the process of selecting officers annually. Or if you want to change it to biannually.
Yeah, I think it's better once a year.
Once a year?
Annually.
You want to make that a motion?
Yeah. make a
Okay.
motion.
We have a motion to continue annual review of terms of office to have the terms of the officers be 1 year. Is there a second for that?
Yes.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, so we now have officers. We'll be back again next January. Anytime you want to replace us, fine.
There you go.
Okay, now item number 3 is now we're back to the regular agenda. Additions to the agenda, items identified after the preparation of the agenda for which there is a need to take immediate action. Any additions to the agenda? Hearing none? Do I have to approve them? No, I can just
No.
move on. Okay. Item number 4 is public comment. So here, members of the public may address the board on items that are not on the agenda, but in relation to the Arts Authority. Is there a public comment? Anybody online? Okay, hearing none. We'll move to public session. Item number 5A is consideration of approval of the minutes of the October 25th meeting. They were in our packet. Any comment from the board?
I'd like to make a motion for approval.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any comment from the audience? Okay, then I'll pull it back to the board. All in favor of approving the minutes of the 25th meeting, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item number 5B is the treasurer's report. We have 4 items on the treasurer's report. And Mr. Poitras will lead us through those, and then we will vote in one motion for for acceptance of the treasurer's report.
Very good. Thank you. So the first thing I'll do is I'll talk about the treasurer's report. We have the bank statement as of the end of the year, 12/31/21, and it shows a ending balance of $73,606.55. That is, and then we take a look at the income statement, and they tie in. It's the income statement. It's actually since we started taking in money, so it's more than a year. It shows a net income or net reserve, I guess, of $73,606.55. It also shows some interest that has been earned that has tied into that. So the treasurer's report is in balance. Next, we need to approve a authorization of payment of $244.02 to Lozano Smith Attorneys at Law. They billed us for services rendered through 12/31/21. We also have we need to approve a warrant in the amount of $200.36 to the Madera County Clerk of the Board's Office for Clerking Services, and that is in a statement showing the hours and the hourly rate, et cetera, and how that amount was determined. And then we also have a warrant in the amount of $192.02 to the Madera County Clerk of the Board's offices for the months of October through December 2021. So the first one was for the 3 months, July through September, and the second one was 3 months, October through December 2021. So those are the 4 items. Are there any questions?
Any questions? Okay, then I'll entertain any comments or questions from the audience. We'll put it back to the board. Is there a motion to approve the treasurer's report? Motion by Artemio, second. Second by Joetta Fleek. Any other discussion of the treasurer's report? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. So we're getting a feel now for what it's costing us to run our Arts Authority JPA. And I appreciate the fact that the lawyer and the county are doing the best they can to keep that down.
Mm-hmm.
So that we can conduct our business in an economical way.
Yes.
Okay, next we have the continuing discussion and consideration of the Arts Authority logo. Ignacio Negretti is back here today. And hopefully today we can make a decision about the logo. The reason I'm interested is that we were in the process of developing a grant proposal, and it really would have been helpful if we had had the logo in place. So even if it's something we want to change the color of or maybe adapt over time, I think that as we're getting logos and as we're applying for grants, it's going to be important for us to have this in place. But having said that, I'll turn it over to Mr. Negretti, and we'll have some board discussion on what our options still are, and maybe we can get to a decision today.
Perfect.
I don't think it came up here. You.
No, that's the next report.
I'm not sure. Is it in this slideshow?
No.
I do have a. Alrighty. So bring up was the last one you guys seen. So this one had we had some feedback of taking the two different colors out of the mask and defining the dancer more. And so that was done here. This was going to be my proposed final here. Then I had also got some comments back that we needed, maybe go away from the courthouse. So I had two designs. One was without the extra, just the dancer and the paintbrush. And then we had the drama and her theater and music added as well. And then lastly was this one kind of inspired by a different logo of a different arts council. Not sure if you guys want to see them again. So, like I said, this one was the alternate, kind of the county colors there with the different logos or different icons. We have the simple brush with the dancer cutout. Added the theater and music to that. And then the proposed, what was going to be the proposed final from last time we met. More definition in the arms of the dancer there, and the color taken away from the mask.
On the one that had the palette, is it intended that all of that is in the logo?
Yes.
That whole thing is the
That
logo?
whole thing is the logo.
Oh, that's interesting.
I was given some inspirations, and one of them was kind of the four squares with the different art types within it, and then I just kind of adapted, since I had the original creations already. I just threw those in there.
Okay, what are your ones do you want to talk about first?
Well, it's interesting. I think they're all, good and have, different interesting aspects. And, I always think about, like, for instance, the ones that's shown, what is it going to look like, just like in everyday, like on an envelope or
Mm-hmm.
letterhead or something like that. So I try to visualize it like that. And,
Mm-hmm.
and so,
When I was making this one, it really reminded me of the Windows logo, and just kind of
Mhm.
the arts within it. So there was that. So this would be, of course, smaller. When we talk about the other ones, those ones, I don't have the black and whites right now, but they do transfer well to black and white. And we can, alter the colors for different themes. But this was the one I was thinking of for final presentation. I'm not too sure where to go.
mhm.
Okay, so if we go to this one, let's
Mhm.
talk about what we like and don't like
Okay.
about this one.
Yeah, this one, it seems like it might almost be a little bit busy and I like the courthouse. I love the courthouse. It kind of, it's the history of our community, and yet is it something that needs to be there for the arts? I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah,
I like it.
Yeah, that was kind of the tie back to the Madera County
Right.
logo. Again, that's
Mhm.
courthouse straight off of the logo there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But,
But
And-
do you have a picture without the,
yeah, so this is the one without the courthouse there. So it's just the cutouts of the arts.
Now, this one looks like it's some kind of an evil specter back there
Yeah,
with,
right.
with the black on.
Mhm.
Yeah,
It's just like a guy with a hood. Ah.
yeah, Phantom of the Opera over there.
Yeah.
I think the first one is better than this one because it shows the Madera County building. And that's
Yeah,
better.
it identifies with Madera County.
Yeah, right. So let's do the third one.
Yeah, so this would be just the dancers and the logos. And of course, you can see kind of how I cut those things out there. So that half mask again, I could dodge it and have it a solid color instead. But just the dancer itself as well.
Could you make the black look like a paintbrush like the blue?
So that would be a little difficult. But what I did here was I filled in the empty space that was the courthouse there.
Right.
Yeah, because what it's supposed to be, the brush itself is supposed to be the under part of the brush and then the paint drippings.
Okay.
Yeah. If I add texture to it, it would be finer detail that, like, when you start getting about the 1 inch size, you wouldn't be able to tell.
'Cause she's awfully big.
Yeah.
I mean, she's a
Right.
Hmm.
I guess I have concern about having the dancer be the central focus of
Okay.
the Arts Authority. Because it seems like focusing more on one area of the arts than the others.
Uh-huh.
But when we go back to the one with the courthouse, it looks a little more balanced, I think.
Hmm.
My eye goes to the theater and to the music before it goes to the dancer.
Yeah. Combo.
Well,
Yeah, that would be all right. I like it.
that was our
Okay.
choices, right? Boom,
Yeah,
boom, boom.
yeah. So so there was this one was the proposed final. Then we had the dancers, and then the one that's kind of like the Windows logo.
Yeah. Okay, members of the audience, would you have any comments? That one? Well, that balances the areas of the arts
Mm-hmm.
and keeps it focused.
Yeah, so I mean, it's interesting. I think it has some merit.
It doesn't identify, I don't know. It doesn't tell me I'm in Madera County.
Mm-hmm.
But it would be fun if if this was the logo and we were doing something theater-like, we could pull out the theater one. And if we're
Mhm.
doing something music-like, we could pull out the music one too. Or we could highlight, right?
Yes.
We could
Yes.
bring them foreground and background.
Hmm. So kind of a swap type of deal.
Uh-huh.
That's interesting. I wasn't thinking that way. So I mean, I can come up with some more that way. But okay. Yeah.
It seems fair to me. I
Yeah.
kind of like the abstract flow.
Mhm. Well, I was happy with the first one until we started fussing with it. I'm kind of like Artemio.
Madam Chair, this is Nick Salinas. I'd like to make a comment, if I may.
Please do.
Thank you, and first of all, congratulations on your renewed term as chairwoman of the Madera County Arts Authority.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Looking
Mr.
forward to working
Salinas. I'll
with
look
you.
forward to continuing to work with you.
absolutely. Ignacio and I had a one-off conversation in regards to potentially going back to the drawing board, and I know he's put a lot of time, effort, and there's been a lot of reflection and really good input from the board. It seems that the courthouse, the image itself, may be somewhat of a hurdle, a challenge, a really hard concept to get by. If your board may, I'd be happy to work with him on some just out of the box ideas, kind of a revamping of the logo. If not, we're happy to take the direction from the board as far as this logo goes and tweaks. I just would like to leave all options on the table in terms of moving forward with this logo. Essentially, it'll be, I would anticipate this being our brand and our logo for years to come.
Okay. Are there other thoughts? I'm gonna share with you. I think please come to the microphone and identify yourself and sit a little closer.
Tina Unti Madera. The only reason that I really liked the other one, the last one that was presented, is that it's immediately identifiable. It's, it's the arts. If I saw that, I know it's coming from the Arts Authority. This is more interesting, perhaps overall. It's more artsy, it's more, but the other is clearly identifiable. If I got a letter or something with that on it, I would know it had something to do with the arts.
Mhm.
This one, again, I try to visualize it, what it would look like on an envelope, on a letterhead or something, and would it be too small to identify, some of the things that are on here, like, easily identified when it's enlarged and it's there, but, when it's a little something on your letterhead, could you see it? I mean, could you, make out
Right.
what it is?
Because you really can't, that's a good example on the letterhead,
Yeah.
the Madera County one he's pointing to. Let me just toss out that I visited. I've been driving through towns looking at what they do for the arts. That's what I've been doing, and I had to go down to through Tehachapi. And I noticed that what they've done in that town, they have an arts commission. They have done murals all over town, a lot of what we're thinking about doing. And now I wish I'd brought the example today. But what they did was they took Tehachapi's a long word, Tehachapi in a big swirl, okay? Kind of like the Fresno postage stamp sign that they have. Have you seen that? Well, they took the Tehachapi in a big swirl, and then inside the swirl, they had pictures of things going on in relation to the community. And so when it was arts related, you saw people dancing and things like that. When it was signifying the historic train station, you saw pictures of the old railroad. So it was one outline of a logo that you could immediately identify as Tehachapi. And then within it, they were able to change the pictures to denote whatever it was they were, whatever they wanted to do as they went around town. I thought that was interesting. And we're here in Madera, we're looking at a Welcome to Downtown Madera sign. And so maybe we could be thinking about coordinating all of our art, our marketing materials in with some kind of design.
Right away, what I'm thinking of is kind of the county's branding guidelines and such. And on there, what they have is they do have a horizontal Madera County where it just has the inner side there, and then Madera County on the side. Perhaps on the background of that, we can have, like the theater mask, the dancer, switch out the art forms that are showing there. If we're doing a video, maybe a film reel going through it. Because I hear your concept and how it was going for Tehachapi. I think that's a good idea of kind of having that solid branding marker, so that way they know, okay, this is Madera County, and then also this is an art because of what's in the background. So that gives me a bit more guidance there, because that's what I'm hearing, is that you guys want to see, when you see it, it's arts, and you also want to see that it identifies with Madera, and that's what I'm thinking on there. The other part of Madera symbolism I'm thinking of as well is what this city logo had with the pine tree and the palm. I'm also thinking of what's that one? Big Sur, the rock in Yosemite.
Oh, Half Dome.
Half Dome. There you go. Half Dome. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, El Capitan. Yeah, same. Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. Because I was fooling around with that a little bit, because I know our new courthouse is kind of modeled after the Yosemite Falls and all that. So I was kind of thinking of throwing Half Dome in there, making it kind of colorful and seeing how that goes. Could have got those renders. But yeah. So from what I'm hearing is you want to make sure that you guys are identified as Madera County and also as an art authority. So seeing that, like has been explained, when you look at it on the letterhead or on any like flyer or whatever, you just want to be able to see it, know it's arts and Madera, and be able to spot it. So that gives me a little bit more clues what to use, what to put out there, because we have a lot of culture here in Madera, and identifying that is going to be how we go with this. I mean, like I mentioned, the dancer, there's a lot of ballet folklorico that's around here. That's why I wanted to use the dancer instead of one that's like in a tutu. It brings more to the culture. But yeah, I think I got some better direction.
I think that's a good point. It's Madera County today, even today, is so different, and depending on what part of the county you are. We have that Welcome to Madera County sign on 41 now, and it's styled after kind of a historical thing, the mountains and the flume and so forth, and then of course we have the courthouse that's very historical, and yet you think about today's culture here in the city of Madera, it would be more folklore dancers that you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of what's happening today, and we're not sure if that's going to be happening in 40 or 50 or 60 years from now, but it's kind of like, again, it's current,
Mm-hmm.
and it's relevant to the city of Madera. So it's interesting to kind of consider again the different parts of our county in that regard. So that's a good point.
Because that's why I was thinking about, all the different kinds of cultures and ways Madera can be represented could be done throughout a design that says Madera. Useful to all, and then it could be adapted. So if you're in Oakhurst
Mm-hmm.
and you're looking at, or in Coarse Gold or North Fork, and you're looking at Native American populations, you
Yeah.
might have more pictures of the history of the Native Americans in that area. Get closer to Yosemite, you might have more pictures like that. But it's always got the Madera
Mhm.
kind of theme naming.
And agriculture.
And then you're,
You know.
yeah. Yeah. Okay, you want to come back up, Tina?
Getting your workout.
Again, Tina Unti Madera. The idea I like, but everything you're talking about is not on doing this thing like Tehachapi is not focusing on art. And this is the Arts Authority logo.
Right, ours would
So-
be, arts picture related. But then that also, that outline could be used by others too.
Oh,
But
okay.
yes, ours would be all
The arts.
arts.
And where are you going to have it say Arts Authority? I've been to Tehachapi too, and I
You're
I
right.
like it, and I really
Right.
appreciate what they've done. But I'm sitting here trying to think, okay, how is this going to be focusing on the Arts Authority? Because isn't that what you want? You want it to be Madera County, but the focus is art.
Thank you. We have two people online, Jim Core and Nick. Do you have any thoughts?
Yeah, this is Jim. I'm with the Madera County Arts Council. Having done some work with logos in the past, my comment would be, and everybody's got likes and dislikes about logos. You could throw up a bunch of logos and people would have different opinions about it. I think for me, I think you're on the right track with as you're describing it, the Microsoft Windows look. I think it's cleaner, it's easier to look at, and I can see it already stamped on the bottom or reproduced on the bottom of a mural that's been created as part of the Madera County Arts Authority. And it's already written on the bottom, so we know it's Madera County Arts Authority. And once people understand that that's what it is, it'll represent Madera County just fine. So it doesn't necessarily have to be the literal representations of the arts. In fact, for my money, I think having those pieces of the courthouse and the dancer and the theater masks and the musical note are what I would describe as a little on the nose. And, when I did some research looking at other arts councils, it had a wide variety of different types of things that never utilized any of those icons to represent the arts. So I like the direction that you're going with on the I'll call it the squares, and I think you're doing some really good work here. But that's what I would, if I was the art director on this and helping this along, that would be my comment.
Thank you.
Okay. I see Regina has joined us. Welcome. Okay, so Nick and Ignacio are,
Yeah, we'll team up and we'll discuss some more. I like the feedback Jim gave me there, so I'll think on that as well. Like kind of the logos that we were, because Nick had sent me a few, and that kind of window style was one of the ones that he had sent as well. The different county, I believe.
Jim Core also did one a couple of weeks ago because we thought we needed some kind of little logo thing. Jim, you might want to send that over too. That's done with squares, but they go.
Lined up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Listen. I'm no artist, and I would never never want to infuse myself into this process. It was just a kind of a down and dirty thing that I did using Pages in Mac, and I'm happy to send it over to you. But I would not consider it to be a front runner.
No, I'm not advocating for it by any stretch. But as long as we're looking at boxes, we might as well.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I guess we're not going to have a agreement today, but this is certainly an
Madam
interesting
Chair.
discussion. Yes, Nick.
Madam Chair. Nick Salinas, District 3 Chief of Staff, if I may. I'm going to attempt to share my screen just in the attempt of getting more clarity for Ignacio to ensure that we bring back something that the council would be in favor of potentially, or the authority rather, sorry. Would that be okay?
Sure.
So I just hit share and let me know if you can see my screen.
There you
There
go.
it is.
So there's the various concepts that I sent over. I looked into various councils and authorities just to kind of get, an idea of what other jurisdictions are doing. So here's kind of what I've sent. If we can just maybe between the authority and yourself kind of chew through these just to kind of give us a general direction as to what you and your fellow board members would find to be attractive and a well-suited logo.
Well, that Arts Council of Moore County, that's kind of an interesting
Mhm.
variation of a theme of what
Mhm.
was presented.
Everything's clear
Mm-hmm.
and it's
I
got
think
the
that's where,
four
can't
areas.
speak for Ignacio, but I'm thinking that's where his initial concept came up from.
I don't know. I think Ignacio, he thought of it first.
There was a paintbrush somewhere else that I get inspired.
I like that.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's a paint palette there in the background.
Right. Very cool.
I like that better than the kind of, it always is kind of, I never quite could ever visualize that was a brush coming
Mhm.
up. What did the rest of you think?
Yeah, I like that one.
To me, I like the Creative Sonoma and the Paris Henry County Arts Council. I think that's
Yeah, that's sharp.
I think that's a riff on their Performing Arts Center, I believe. I think they have a open air theater that has that kind of architectural structure on it.
Wow. What was the other one you talked about?
Creative Sonoma,
Yeah,
Circle.
last one on the bottom
Oh.
right.
Creative Snow, the hula hoop one.
Yeah. That's right. Hula hoops.
it looked cute, the circle, but I like this one more, the one on the right. The one that say MCAAC.
Yeah,
We can do that. We put the Madera
MCAA,
County Art Authority
right.
and not the C. Or
Mhm.
we can put the council too. All 5 letters that should go, right? Madera County Art Authority Council.
No, we can't do council because then they'll confuse it with the Arts Council.
Okay, well, just take the C off.
Yeah.
That'll be
Get a
better.
little bit of whiteout in
They're
there.
pretty good
Wipe
too.
off
That one
seat.
and the Creative Sonoma, both of us are very good.
Okay.
I hope I didn't make things more challenging, but hopefully
No,
this
but
will
it
give
helps
us a
to
more
look at.
clear direction.
Look at what others have done. Okay, thank you. Well.
Okay.
Okay.
Think I got some guidance and
Creative action takes time.
yes.
Well, thank you for hanging with us, Ignacio.
Thank you.
Okay, anything else on this one? Okay, we're going to move along to item number 5D, which is the ad hoc committee report. We sent you out a presentation dealing with this. And so I'm going to make a few comments. We didn't have a meeting for a couple of months because we were very busy working on our project downtown. And so I want to share with you the results of that effort. What basically happened was that you go to the plan. Yeah. So as you might recall, in October, we were talking about an area of downtown Madera, which I now call the alley, between Yosemite Avenue and 6th Street. And we were looking for ways to put murals in that area and maybe dumpster art in that area and begin to maybe activate the area because it has some nice parking lot places and places for people to gather in that area. And then we were contacted by the city of Madera that was applying for. Let me start out by saying, don't forget that our feasibility and action plan has us in step one, which is trying to infuse the arts downtown and trying to increase our events so that we can get more people in the downtown area and do more events that are art-related and non-art related. So that's the area we've been working in. And so our group here decided to work with Chris Miller at Layton's. He volunteered to do the first mural, so we kicked that off. That happened before October, and this is down on D Street. And it's made some progress, but not nearly as rapidly as we had hoped. This is how far it is now. It seems to get a leaf painted every month or something, so it's moving kind of slow, but we're learning a lot. Then we were approached by the city of Madera to participate in a Clean California grant, and they were interested in pursuing our mural project downtown. And I was interested in adding some lighting and some plants and some public space work to that alley as well. We didn't get to complete the grant, but we learned a lot in the process. First of all, we did establish, oh, Mr. Core, are you going to talk about this? Any of the mural stuff, or am I?
I wasn't planning to, but
Okay.
I can chime in when necessary.
Okay. So what we know we needed to do was we needed to find muralists who would connect with business owners and come up with the idea and come up with the muralist and a business that wanted to do it. And then we would be asking for funding for those murals. That was our concept. And so through the Arts Council, we sent out a request for artists, for muralists, and those are coming in right now from various muralists around the area and state. And then, and Mr. Core from the Arts Authority Council has been talking to those muralists about cost of doing a mural, because we were needing to propose how much money we needed to paint a mural. So you need to know about how much it's going to cost. So we did some estimation about that. We looked for muralists, and then we've contacted several businesses downtown. We met with the Madera Downtown Association and talked to them about what we were doing to see if there were business owners who were interested. We now have 10 business places that are interested in murals so far, and we haven't contacted everybody yet. That worked out well for us. So we're learning about, and then we're looking at contracts that other cities have used in order to get the contract between the business owner and the muralist for that design. And then the third kind of peg there is to look at the city and make sure that we're in any kind of ordinances and in approval that we need from the city on murals. So while we weren't able to actually fulfill this grant, we've learned a lot in the last 3 months about how to structure, how to move forward, and how to get established mural projects. This is going to be doable. And if we can get any kind of grant funding to help us, pay businesses to do the murals, I think it's going to make a difference. The other thing that kind of came up as a result of this is that that alley has dumpsters in it. And so that led us to, I'll talk about the dumpsters more later, but it led us to the idea that we needed to do more in that alley than murals, that it needs to be a walking path area. We need to think about lighting down there. It's not too well lit. And we need to think about, do we want to have benches, more trash cans, if there's going to be events? How will we stage that in a bigger way? And when we look at a grant, we should be looking at a grant to do those other kinds of projects as well. So,
Madam Chair,
Yes.
O'Kane,
yes.
Nick Salinas, District 3 Chief of Staff, if I may.
Please.
One of the major components looking at the Clean California grant was the location and proximity of their recommended projects. In these images, if you notice, they're all based around transportation corridors. And from our perspective as an authority in getting things done in downtown, we really wanted to stay away from State Route 145/Yosemite Avenue and focus in those alleyways and get those really small wins. So after digging further deeper into the grant, we found that the Clean California grant just wasn't really the best fit. And in fact, the county is pursuing a Clean California grant for Courthouse Park. And likewise, it was, if you really look into it, it's essentially cleaning up the on-ramps, off-ramps, kind of the byways in and around major state routes throughout the state. So if you can go to the next slide, the next best alternative was the Urban Greening Grant Program, which SB 859 established through the California Natural Resources Urban Greening Division. And as you can see there, $50 million put into play for urban greening, and it is competitive to the tune of $47.5 million. But this really, we felt, was a better fit from a staff perspective to go in and beautify areas of downtown Madera in hand with our Courthouse Park remodel. Next slide, unless you want to chime in, Madam Chair, with any other
No, you're fine.
slide.
Go ahead, Nick.
And so the grant allows for the greening of existing public lands, structures, including schoolyards. We're really looking to spruce up some areas in downtown, as noted by Madam Chair O'Kane, especially those underutilized parking areas, those alleyways. As you'll see in the next couple of slides, there's going to be some images of what they would approve. So, for example, an old kind of deteriorated alleyway can really get turned into a nice greened up area. And it also, as you can see from the pictures, it allots for sidewalk improvements, driveway, alleyway improvements. So that's just one example. If we can go to the next slide. Again, public lands, schoolyards, in generalities, just greening up areas, which can really have a nice visual improvement from other in other areas of our downtown. And we'll go to the next slide. This one kind of really hit me once I pulled it up. I was going through the grant detailings, and this is a project we have out at our behavioral health and public health campus, where we have these urban tree canopies. It's kind of a walkable space. It really just turns, really drought resistant, but it turns these areas that would be somewhat unusable to usable areas. So here's another example, and we've been successful in implementing these type of projects in Madera County. We can go to the next slide, and I'll let either Madam O'Kane or Jim chime in on this letter that we sent to our downtown business and property owners.
Yeah, this is the letter I was referring to earlier. That is alerting everybody downtown and business owners that we have this opportunity, and we hope that they will participate in it. And so we're looking to find some grants so that they don't have out-of-pocket expenditures to the business owners to get us up and running. So I think there's quite a bit we can do if we have grant money to help, fund some of these projects. Okay, so then in terms of places that might be interested, you can see, pointer with this, I can't. It's the what button? Oh, I see it. There you go. When you're driving into downtown Madera on the right, this building, Raul's Barbershop was there. It's just over the tracks. This is a possibility here for a welcome. Oh, I'm sorry, I got to do it up here. Thank you. A welcome to Madera sign here. That's what we were looking at, the big Madera sign. This has a new owner, and the new owner is interested in pursuing that as a possibility. Right across the street from that is that cute little building that Garibay CPA is in. The owner of that building is interested in a mural as well. That one, I don't have a picture of, but that could be something like the historical train station that was there. So that can fit in with the Chamber of Commerce office.
Oh, okay.
And then you can see other, here's one of the dumpsters. And you can see that that's just a blank old alley space that could be improved with beautiful big mural walls and paintings and things. This is actual in the alley downtown, and you can see, mural space here. This is kind of ugly. I mean, it's clean, but it could use a little, sprucing up for walking areas. This is the Ice House and on 4th Street, and this owner is interested in possibly doing something there, which is a nice,
That's
nice.
the old one by Fort.
Yeah, that's a nice building to put another welcome to Madera downtown sign on.
Okay, yeah.
And then there's restoration murals. This is on Gateway. And Gateway is, historic 99. So there's a lot that can be done along Gateway to make everybody proud of the fact that we had a historical Highway 99 coming through Madera. And so recreating some of those old murals can help, that one at the feed store downtown. Again, more alleyway. Here you can see on the left where Tijuana Bar and Grill fixed up his outside entry with cement. And so, but this all could be jazzed up a lot with some planters and things like that along there. And then I think that will allow places like California Grill, which is right down here, to consider having outback dining. And maybe some other stores would like to open up on the back end. So we have people walking and maybe, using the stores. Okay. And then the dumpster art project was presented to Madera Unified School District the other day. And the teachers are very excited about taking on the dumpsters. Mid-Valley Disposal is ready to have us paint those dumpsters. And so we're going to be working over the next few months between the school district and Mid-Valley Disposal and the downtown area. But again, if we could put in the dumpsters, but we really need to also be looking at lighting, planting, fixing up. And that's why we're looking at this new grant that's coming up that Nick was talking about. Okay, and then we have one more thing. In our 4-step plan for renovation of downtown using the arts, step 1 is more things happening downtown. Step 2 is restoration of the park, and that's going on. And the work with Caltrans and the city is going on. But step 4, which is down the road long range, is to have that theater downtown. And so Madera County Arts Council is kicking up our theater program. So, Jim, do you want to talk about that?
Sure can. So last fall, the Arts Council has always been talking about expanding our performing arts. And so last fall in October, during our gala, we announced that we were going to be creating a theater arts program, which we did. Ginger Latimer came, who is the former theater instructor at Madera South, came to talk to our group at the gala, and we were able to get some very nice donations toward the creation of a theater program. So we've had Ginger come in. She came in October to start theater classes for ages 5 to 13. It was very successful. We started another one here 2 weeks ago, and we have that going again. And we're going to continue with classes at the Arts Council, which will include young people as well as adults who have expressed some interest in wanting to have acting classes at the Arts Council. So about a month ago, we had a meeting with the Madera Unified School District. Brandon Gillis is the new Visual and Performing Arts Director. And we moved into an agreement to do some summer theater this summer as a joint effort between the Madera County Arts Council and the Madera Unified School District. The school district seems to have a lot of money these days. We should be so lucky, all of us. They have a lot of money these days. So they're going to be funding the project. We are going to be the administrators of the project, we meaning the Madera County Arts Council. And through that, we have a goal of producing 3 shows this summer. One would be a larger scale musical, something along the lines of The Wizard of Oz or a Seussical, which has multiple opportunities for students to be a part of. And then we're thinking about a smaller musical as part of the season, which would be something maybe they have junior versions of shows. So it'd be a smaller musical, also bringing together lots of students. And then the third show would be a smaller scale, what's called in theater speak, a straight show, meaning it's a non-musical. That would be something along the lines of a Neil Simon comedy, perhaps, something like Barefoot in the Park, something along those lines. So we're very grateful that the school district has some extra dollars to put towards this. I've had a lot of experience in community theater. I spent 7 seasons at Playhouse Merced in Merced as not only their director of communications, but a sort of pseudo general manager along with the artistic director there. So the one thing I would say in general is that producing theater is probably more expensive than you think. And so with that, it's great that we're going to be having some of this funding from the Madera Unified School District. So that's kind of an overview. June, July, and August are the days we're going to be able to use Matilda Torres High School as the venue. And we're going to be meeting this week on Wednesday with Ginger, who is going to be the artistic director, and with me and Stephanie Perez, who is on the board at Madera County Arts Council, and we are acting as managing producers. And we had a meeting, maybe 3 weeks ago with members of all of the theater folks from all the high schools, and it was great to see everybody expressing interest in putting together what we think is going to be setting the stage for community theater back in Madera once again. So that's my overview, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Okay, we've thrown a lot of information at you. Any questions, comments?
Well, yes.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea. All 3 are good. Welcome. Acting exercise, improving in the theater scenes. Yeah, that'll be good. As long as the children they get busy, so that'll be all right.
Okay.
Good. Yeah, it's been going very well. Ginger's not only a great instructor, but she's great with young people too. And they've been getting a lot out of it, a lot of good feedback. So we're happy about that. Good question. Thank you. Any other thoughts on the theater? Any clarifications?
I just want to add that our whole project and our QK consulting group that we had help us get started was around building a arts center in Madera County, here in the city of Madera, a center for the arts, and that we thought spur more community involvement and would help with economic development. And we wanted to have a theater as part of that, because a theater will draw people into downtown, and then there will be restaurants and other things to do, and you can build your economy that way as well. So this whole concept of centering around the arts was important. And the purpose of having this group, this JPA, was to find ways that the city, the county, the school district, and the Arts Council could put ourselves together to collaborate to make something happen, with the intent of revitalizing our downtown and having it something we can be proud of and people will come to. So this afternoon, you've heard what the county's doing in this regard with the restoration of the park, and that restoration will include an amphitheater, because our consultant said start with people going outside to events, because you can do that a lot of the year, and it's a lot cheaper to do an amphitheater than your indoor theater. Thank God, because now with the pandemic, outdoors is a lot better anyway. So that's coming along because of that work. And the school district is highly involved because they've got all these kids needing to do projects. and learn about the arts and engage in the arts. And they're very excited about being able to participate in a variety of ways with their
That helps them learn about helping in the community and being a
Yes.
big part of the community,
Yes.
which is really good.
So let me do just a little side story on that. When I met with the teachers the other day about doing the dumpster art, one of the teachers said, we could paint some of these with the messages that we're teaching kids in school about cleaning, taking care of property, throwing away your garbage, recycling. We could use the dumpsters as message boards. And I
Love it.
thought, that's great.
Love it.
And then the city, we're not going anywhere without the city's involvement in downtown renovation. So their work with Caltrans on the highway, building of 2 new housing units down there. And now they're going to have Parks and Rec focus on providing more outdoor activity events on the alley side so that we can begin to bring people downtown. So the idea was we'd get other groups involved and get them active, and we'd be, starting to bring more people into the downtown core. And then one thing begets another. So I think we have better coordination now among all of us. And I talked to Arnaldo at the city, and he's going to put the person in charge of Parks and Rec out there for us to work with on our alley project in the city. And so now we're coming up on another opportunity for a grant, which will work together between the county, the city, and the Arts Council and the school district. So all of that, I think, is good. So I think we're in a pretty good spot.
Yeah, great report.
It's not easy, by the way. But I think once we take off, it's gonna go quickly and fun and well. So
Right.
get more people going on. Good. Okay. Anything else then? That's our update. Okay. We have one more item, and that is we need to approve the calendar, meeting calendar schedule for 2022, and that was included in your packet. It continues the 4th Monday of the month at 4:00 for our meeting schedule. Does that still work with people?
Yeah, I think it's changed. We also, the Madera House, the House Authority changed. They used to be on Wednesdays, now it's gonna be on Thursdays. So last year we were doing this in what day?
Monday.
Oh, we continue on Monday. That'll be all right for me. I don't know about the rest.
I make a motion for approval.
Second.
Okay. Any other discussion? Any comment from the audience? Okay. All in favor, keeping it on Monday, 4th
Aye.
Monday? Opposed? Motion carries. Okay. And then we will, we need to have 6 meetings, so sometimes we'll go every other month, depending on, if we have anything that needs approval or,
So it's not gonna be exactly every month.
right.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
As long as I get the notice.
You get the notice.
I'll be all right.
Yeah.
So I don't forget.
Okay, great. Anything else for the good of the order? Staff member reports?
Thank you.
Okay. I'd like to thank Nick and Jim. They've been a lot of help the last month or two in trying to get a lot done in terms of this mural concept, so appreciate that. Okay, and so if that's it, then we are adjourned.
All right, thank you.
Thanks all.